Alright, so this is a podcast for Professor Forney's class. I'm doing my remediation on my Elon Musk project earlier in the year, or earlier in the semester. I have with me my friends Jack, Jackson, Alan, and Trevor. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Jack.
Alright.
How was the teacher gonna say hello to us?
Okay.
Oh my god. So, yeah, we're just discussing all about Elon Musk and space travel and whatnot. So, what do you guys have to say about Elon Musk and all that?
Well, I was just about to say that he's a revolutionary and that he's gonna eventually create the first Tesla dealership on the moon. I'm real excited about that.
That would be pretty nice.
And eventually Mars.
Yeah, no one's
He's already
ever
sent
done
one
that
out there.
before.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Well, I need to.
I mean, I find him kind of creepy. Like, I mean, not like I think he's visionary and stuff, but it's getting a little bit scary. Like, especially the flamethrower thing just seemed kind of stupid, but to me it was like that kind of freaked me out because flamethrowers
Yeah,
are
Yeah,
like
he's making
flamethrowers.
flamethrowers that look like super soakers. That's kind of weird.
well, just like
And, like-
flamethrowers in general. Like people, I looked it up. It's not like banned in by international law, but it's like super frowned upon because like burning people alive is kind of fucked
Yeah,
up.
but
It's
hey,
like
Yeah,
man,
but that's why those flamethrowers sucked, though.
I mean, like, it's pretty crazy how SpaceX has, like, the resources to just, build a rocket. And, like, I don't know, it's weird that they're doing, like, more improved stuff than NASA has ever,
well, yeah.
at
But,
least
like,
at the moment.
His flamethrower isn't really a flamethrower though, because if you actually look at flamethrowers,
Yeah, it's not
They
like
actually, like-
napalm.
yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
napalm,
no, it's just
how
like
it is in
it's
World
like a
War II.
lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like
It just
World
shoots a
War
little
II.
bit of
Would be
a
a
little
better-
Yeah, I
or
guess a
something.
blowtorch. Yeah.
Blowtorch, yeah.
So like,
Hey, we can have a firefight.
I honestly do believe though that Elon Musk is like actually our best chance of getting to Mars though, because
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
the actual funding, unlike NASA that is like completely underfunded just
Well,
all the time.
because
Oh,
like
Well,
you can go, Turk.
the only problem right now is the Dragon capsule itself cannot go to Mars unless it gets a serious upgrade. It can only do lunar orbit like they were going to with those like rich people. But the problem is Boeing and NASA already have something designed to go to Mars itself, the Orion, if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But NASA are all
Well, like-
The thing is,
got something
I'll
stuck
let you
on
go. Sorry,
Mars.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
they do want to go to Mars, like, and they're making the vertical launch system to be able to go to Mars. It's just Elon Musk made his Falcon Heavy first, out of technology he already had.
Well, isn't it like some NASA employees are also just going to SpaceX and all that just because like he actually has the tech to go there as of right now?
Well, that's sort of untrue and true because like you can really just say that like it's a friendly competition. I mean, he launches his rockets off of NASA, like it's their launch pad and everything, and it's their control centers doing it.
Well, like,
So they're really much like helping each other. It's not like a, haha, I'm winning this.
I think also
Unless it's the Russians.
unless they're involved. I think it's also just that like SpaceX is in like a privately funded company, and it's not just like a government program where it's like representing the nation. Like people started to stop caring about like going to space and the moon and everything. It's like been there, done that. But when like a private enterprise does it, it's like the whole like argument of capitalism. Like don't have government control the system, like or some sort of industry have the free hand of the market do it because they'll create a better product. Like you could, like, oh, toll roads aren't managed by the government, but even though you have to pay, it's better maintained and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
just
That is
there's more incentive, I guess, and it just kind of like advertises for Elon Musk, just like, well, because he literally launched a Tesla up into there, so it's just like buy my car.
Guys, I'm going to get us
Just
to Mars.
proving.
Watch this Tesla get on the fucking space station or something.
Dude, if that Tesla comes back to Earth, I want to buy it. I'll be the first man to have a car that's been in outer space.
It's like 10%. It's like 5% of the way to Mars now.
It's like
It'll come back.
Did you see like how in the actual test launch like of the Falcon Heavy rocket like
It crashed.
when it was having like its ascent into space, like you could see like all the paint and all that like chipping off of the car, like when it's the actual live stream, like on the hood of the car, like it was like cherry red before it went up into space, but like it was starting to like slowly degrade into like a crappier like shade of red and stuff like that.
Oh,
Vibration, dude.
Yeah, it was.
It's probably
It was
going to come
pretty
back
fucking funny,
really
honestly.
just like a mute color now.
You know, what kind of
Kind of like
like
a flag.
makes me like sort of upset about that launch is of the Falcon Heavy is we do know it launched and everything, but that rocket did not carry a lot of payload at all. They should have put like a giant lead weight in there to simulate the weight of like what they would actually have to put in the Falcon Heavy.
that's true.
Because they knew those rockets would launch. They're just Falcon 9 strapped together. It was
Yeah.
the fact that, hey, can it actually carry a bus-sized payload or even bigger? But no, they put a car in it, so it's like super light, so it was super fast, and they knew it would go to space. But if it was super heavy, how would they test if it couldn't handle the weight or it was a lot slower and top heavy?
What if they used a stomp rocket?
What do you mean by
A
that?
stomp. Do you guys not remember stomp rockets?
No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Or like garden hose rockets.
Just a really big one. Like drop a whale.
Oh
on it.
my god, I know what you're talking about.
Shamu.
Just talking about like how they had like the
Yeah.
it was like the thing where
Like the garden
it was
hose.
like
Yeah.
air in like a little tube, and then you just stomp on it and it just sends
Yeah,
like
I
a
remember
plastic
those
rocket.
little
Yeah.
rockets that he would
Yeah.
buy. And you could just launch them.
Oh my God.
I'd always just put something in.
That's actually what the North Korean like ballistic missile program.
And then
is,
they
just
fall
them
very
stepping on
quickly.
those-
They need more, a little bit more inflation.
Those stomp rockets.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Those were fun. I had a few of those.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But honestly, like, it's I would agree with what Trevor said. Like, it's kinda isn't like a space race like how it was in like
Exactly.
the 60s and stuff, like the 50s and 60s. But in a way, it kind of is
Yeah.
because Elon Musk wants to privatize space travel and he wants to make money off of it, whereas NASA doesn't. They're just like, oh, look what we can do. We can
Yeah.
take money given to us by the government and just do these things, whereas Elon Musk actually wants to take regular, everyday people to Mars.
I mean, the government isn't really concerned with space anymore.
But even then, still, like, NASA does have a lot of underfunding issues. Like, they said themselves they can't get to Mars until, like, the 2030s.
Well, NASA
But
hasn't
that's
done
one of the
anything
huge.
since the
That's
60s.
That's one of the huge. That's not true. They launch Atlas V rockets all the time.
Oh, well, I mean,
And-
how many of those have been to the moon?
How many of those have been to
How
Mars?
many of SpaceX has been in the moon? I think NASA has about 12 rockets.
That is
on the
true.
thing.
Those were
But
fake,
Elon
though.
Musk doesn't want to go to the moon.
Only one of them made
I
it
also
to the
don't
moon.
understand why
You
we
can't.
want to go to
You
Mars.
can't go to Mars unless you go to the moon.
Yeah, but
He needs to be able to test.
Is that
his
one of the? Is
stuff
that where
on
the?
landing.
Is that where the rest stop is?
Yeah.
it's like,
That's a good
you
toilet.
can't breathe there.
Every time you go to Mars, you're gonna
We-
have to slingshot. the
We
moon.
can't, like, this is what I, like, researched in my paper. Like, we can't go to the moon because there's literally no atmosphere, whereas Mars actually
we
has
just gonna
somewhat of an
take them?
atmosphere.
That
And
is
there's
true.
no
Yeah, it's
like
a
resources on the moon that can actually help us, whereas we've actually found like ice caps
Helium-3.
on Mars
Well,
that can actually
if you're,
hold water in them.
If you remember, it was like years and years ago. I think I was in high school or middle school at the time, and they said scientists were like, "Yeah, we found water on the moon. If you scrape like a cup, like a serving of a cup, across a football field-sized surface area of the moon, you'll get a cup of ice." And I'm like, "Oh, cool.
For a second-
That'll help us."
For a second, I heard you say like they found a cup of grape on the moon. So I thought you were talking about like grape
Cup
soda.
of
Grape drank.
They found
Yeah.
a cup of grape on the moon. It was delicious.
We
It's a
found
bug
a
on the
cup
show.
of grape Fanta on the
Yes,
moon,
yeah.
guys.
That's how they
we need
get
to
you.
call
But
it
see,
out.
that'd be an
That's how the-
advertisement. That'd be. Oh, that's because the Nazis got to the moon first, and Fanta's a Nazi drink.
Dude,
Oh my god, why are you getting into Nazi? Why are you getting the Nazi stuff in a podcast about Elon Musk?
They always come up.
All right, I'll do a segue.
It always goes full circle, Ryan. It always goes full circle, and it always comes back to Nazis.
I'll do a segue. You know how we were talking about like Boeing versus or NASA versus that? a huge difference between NASA getting funding from the government is they don't need to always launch someone else's satellites to pay for their space service, like SpaceX does. That uses a lot of time and money. But NASA can survive off of the government funding, while if like SpaceX wants to do something, they're gonna need to keep having contracts, and luckily they do have those contracts to send stuff, or else they wouldn't have the money they need unless they had a lot more investors. Because SpaceX is not it's not on a stock market like Tesla is.
Yeah.
Well, no, SpaceX also makes money by sending. Was this what you were talking about? They make money by sending satellites into space for like
Yes,
NASA and stuff. Yeah.
And NASA sort of doesn't. I mean, they have those government contracts and like
Yeah.
stuff, but you know.
But like, in terms of like getting the credit, like you said he uses NASA's computers. Like in the end, does that really matter if people think that Elon Musk was the person that sent a rocket to Mars? Like the whole like Edison versus Tesla thing. Like people still think of Edison
Even though
as
he
the
just
dude
stole it off
that
of other
invented the
people.
light bulb and all this other stuff. Which I mean, he kind of did.
Right.
But
He just
but I
proved
mean,
it. He found
like
it.
the other
He didn't- yeah,
stuff.
He didn't invent
He
it.
didn't
kind
invite
of-
the light
He made
bulb.
it. He kind of
He
really-
pa-
He made it better. But yeah. But anyways, like people know
The
Edison.
Nazis invented.
Oof.
yeah, it was
With
the
their
Nazis
grape
that
soda.
invented the light
What's
bulb.
Well, thank you guys for helping me out on this project. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And
Sure thing, buddy.
I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys. All right.
All right, here. How about this?
By Nazis
I
and
will-
grape
This
soda.
podcast was brought to you
Flamethrowers.
by Harry's Razors, Harry's Shave Club, Dollar Shave Club.
Harry's Dollar Shave Club and Moon
was-
Shoes and also Stomp Rockets.
Yeah.
All right.